All right, it's AC cooling down the heat, and we back with another pod.
Yes,
Today
sir.
we got a guest. He's an actor. His name is Hebron.
Bring him in.
And then also, we got Desmond back. It's been a while, yeah.
Oh man,
Good to be back. Good to be back.
All right, Hebron, you mind explaining a little bit about yourself to the audiences?
yeah. So, I recently graduated from Seattle Pacific University, just like 3 minutes from here. And my intended major when going into the school was computer science.
Mm-hmm.
Given that before I transferred in, it was already COVID time, so I was actually taking classes online. And when I was taking classes online, I was finessing these courses. I was finessing computer science, math, science, all that. So once I got into university, I didn't even consider me taking like higher level classes for computer science. So when I started taking those classes, I was bombing them so badly, bro. I just did not know what I was doing in those classes, man.
Right.
It was just some other level stuff, and I had never even touched like a single line of code like in like the whole summer before I even transferred in. So I was lost for a long time.
If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
is there a reason why that wasn't your passion, or was it just something about computer science in itself, like being too hard, or the college program?
I just never cared for it, to be honest with you. It's just like, for me, something I realized about myself is if I don't really care about something, I'm not gonna give it my everything.
That's true.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's for a lot of different things,
Yeah.
So I respect people in the field. It's a hard field, but that is not for me. But so once So once I transferred into SPU, when I was taking these classes, that's all you can take that for.
No, it's notification.
Oh, okay, there you good. So yeah, I was failing them, and then that was the time where I had to really find myself and really understand like who I am and what I'm all about. So I kind of leaned a little bit towards the arts. So I thought writing could be something I could do. I could be a English teacher or whatever. So I switched into that. Doing writing, it was cool. It was interesting, but I had a lot of stuff going on for myself. Like I was tutoring. I was working at this solar panel company in marketing. I was doing other stuff as well, and then
So you dipped like into like a lot of other things.
Yeah, and during the meantime of finding myself, because I thought like English was gonna be it for me, but no, I didn't like it. But then I was doing this class online. Like I saw this ad on Instagram for acting, and it was basically Disney Channel actors from our childhood that we used to watch are training the new up and coming actors. So I was like, okay, this might be a scam, but I mean, what the hell do I gotta lose, So I went to the first Zoom meeting, and then when I was in there, the host was that one girl from That's the Raven. I don't know if you guys watched that show.
Oh yeah. Was it the main character?
No, it was the white girl, Annalisa Chelsea.
Oh, I don't remember.
She was the white friend, Raven's white friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So she popped in, and I was just like, is this a recording of her, or is this actually her?
Yeah.
And but she was responding to the other people in the class in the Zoom meeting. So I was like, okay, no, this is legit. This is an actual like actor. It's gonna be willing to train us into acting. So I was like, okay, you know what? I don't know if acting's it for me. I think I kind of wanted to do it before, and let's just give it a shot. So I signed up. I had to pay $400 to get into the class.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. I was like, okay, I better be getting something out of this, because if I'm not, then there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, your money is gone at that point. Yeah. I mean, the scam is a scam at that point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's just how it is, So I took the class, and when I was taking it, I was learning a lot about improv, method, voice acting, a lot of different stuff. So I'm just like, okay, this is actually pretty interesting. This is actually pretty cool.
Right.
I definitely want to, get myself into it. And, we were learning about the industry as well. Like how to get an agency, how to get into the film business and all that sort of thing. So it was really useful information, And I remember I was doing a class with Jennifer Stone. She's Harper from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah.
What?
Harper.
I was doing a class with her.
Crazy.
Yeah. There's a lot of people from the old Disney Channel shows, like the dad from Wizards of Waverly Place, the professor, the principal, like the Mr. Military guy. Some girl from the Thundermans or something like that. Yeah, a lot of different people,
What?
So I was talking to her, and then she was basically recommending me to do a play at my school. At university you don't have to be in a major to do a play. You can easily audition, and then if you get in, you get in. So I said, yeah, sure. I mean, I'll try it out. Theater is pretty cool, I guess. I think now I maybe want to be an actor. So like, let's just see how it goes. So I emailed one of the deans for the theater program, and I said, hey, I'm maybe thinking about getting into acting. Is there any way I could probably audition for something going on, And he said, yeah, unfortunately, the audition's already filled up, and, we already have castmates, so it's a little too late. So I said, okay, whatever, no worries, I'm not even tripping. So I continued taking the class, and I was doing, marketing and tutoring and all that other stuff, And then 2 weeks later, he emailed me saying, hey, actually, we still are holding auditions for a couple other roles. Would you like to come in for an audition? I was like, sure, this might be fate, you never know. So I went in for the audition, and that was my first audition for anything, I'd maybe done something for like some theater class in Ingram or something, but it wasn't like this, So I went in there. I didn't know anything about the character. I didn't know anything about auditioning. I just went in and just give it all, So I remember I was playing this character who was basically like a lawyer or like an attorney or something.
Right.
And I thought he was supposed to be heated or something, So I just went in there, started screaming my lungs out. It was just crazy. Like I just never experienced that amount of like power I had within myself,
Yeah.
And when doing it, I just felt like kind of uplifted, like something just kind of went inside of me and then just like lifted me up out of nowhere. Like it was just, it was some other feeling I never felt before,
Living that moment.
Yeah, it was really that moment that I'm just like, bro, what is this? I've never like talked like this. I never acted like this. I never like had this emotion in me, to come out like that.
Like you brought it all out.
Yeah, literally, awesome.
It's like you found yourself.
Yeah, I literally found myself. Yeah, I was just like, man, where has this been this whole time? You know, and I would consider myself very religious. I do pray a lot. I do talk to God, and ask Him for some signs and stuff. So I feel like He was giving me that at that point to really start something. So when I did that, I was just like, okay, well, this is crazy. I need to find this again. I need to have that feeling one more time. Because this is some other stuff. So. Awesome. I did it, and I ended up getting about 3 roles. One of the roles was given to somebody else because they figured it was a little bit too much for me. But I ended up getting 2 big roles, and it was really fun. I enjoyed it, and when I was doing it, man, I struggled so hard with the role, man, because there were so many lines. I didn't know how to memorize lines. I didn't know anything about technique, and I didn't know anything about structure in the theater, because there's so much that goes into it. There's so much of like blocking and knowing exactly where you land, and a lot of different stuff that comes into being an actor and acting on stage. So man, I was holding the whole cast back.
That's my biggest fear, like remembering lines.
Yeah, it's just
because like I can't remember anything.
It's literally the reason why a lot of people do not get into this field. It's because remembering lines, bro, takes effort, and it takes so much time and patience, bro. It's
and like probably like constantly like rereading it a lot of times to get it printed in your head.
And when I approached it, I wasn't thinking straight. I was thinking up to myself, okay, so the lines, it will just come to me. I would be able to remember it. Yeah. No, bro, I had to spend time outside of performance, outside of rehearsals, to really memorize these lines and to really understand what my character's doing. And, I was still shy at the time, too. I was still, like, very, like, not to myself, because I consider myself very social, but I was still, like, I'm new. I don't know anything about acting. I'm just learning. So all these people have been doing it since they were kids. I'm new at this, But, yeah, man, I just remember, like, being on stage. It was time for us to be off book, not have the script with us. And I remember it took me, like, an extra 2 weeks to really get off the book. And it was just so, man, it was disregarding, it was just so upsetting that I wasn't at the point where I needed to be for the whole cast, for the directors, for everyone. But I found some skill on YouTube about like you have to write each letter of the word that you're gonna say, every word of the script, and then you just kind of have to backtrack it and like kind of memorize it that way, and it's repetition. So I spent at least like 5 hours doing it because I really wanted to get it right. It wasn't anything like just some regular play. It was a huge play in front of like at least 300 people, so I was like, okay, I need to buckle down. So when doing that, I still had a lot of stuff going on for myself. Like I still was at work, I still was tutoring, I still had classes, so when this play was coming along, when I was really getting into this play, I got fired from work, from the tutoring job. The marketing job wasn't working out anymore, so I had to quit that. And I failed on my classes because I was just focusing on that play. Right. Everything else did not matter at all. That play, I had to do well. And it wasn't even for credit or anything. Like, I wasn't getting paid. I just for some reason, that play, I had to execute it. I had
to like do it for yourself.
I had to do it for myself, I had to prove something to myself,
you found yourself during that moment, and you had to prove yourself.
Yeah.
For that moment.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And it's just like I didn't want anything to stop me. Like I had to focus. And. If you put a lot of work into something, obviously you're gonna get good results. I didn't get the best results, but I got to a place where I was like, okay, this is my first time, and I think I'm okay with it.
And that's definitely like a learning curve.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Exactly.
That's where you learn where you need to grow from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now you find like new techniques, a way to do, practicing your lines and
exactly,
and a passion to practice.
Exactly. That's what it was. And then when I did that play, I felt a bit of like a relief. But then there was obviously somebody. There's always a guy in theater, I forgot what they call him, but someone who talks to the actors after the show. I don't know. He's some sort of like
a critic.
Yeah, some sort of critic guy. I forgot the full title for it, but he's been acting for like 30, 40 years, so he knows stuff, And he was basically talking to me like, hey man, like I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you at all. Like I had trouble listening to you. I had trouble hearing what you had to say.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that kind of destroyed me a little bit, because I'm just like, I'm putting in the work. I'm doing the best I can.
Right.
I'm trying to build this confidence that I barely have, and it's just I'm not there. So that kind of got to me a little bit, And I'm just like, I mean, what do I got to do to really, fight back this whole thing, So I decided, I think this is something that I really want to, go after, something I really want to try for myself. I really want to learn what it is to be an actor. I really want to know what it is to really put yourself in somebody else's perspective and live in their world, So
in that field, right? So when they see you kind of practically struggling, right? They see that you're new. Are they helping? Like besides just giving criticism, are they like pulling you to the side, like, hey, let's work on this right now, let's set up this time to work on this, or hey, there's just this article that might help you, or something like that? Are they doing things like that to help you, or is it more just criticism?
The thing is that they would always recommend certain things to you, but it's up to you to go up to them and be like, hey, I need help. Hey, I need you to help me out.
Take an action.
You gotta take action for yourself. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So
but he basically he has to show himself that he wants it.
Exactly.
And that way they'll be like, okay, like let me do this for you and
that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And the good thing about SPU's theater was that there was a lot of resources to be able to help us out with a lot of different things. Like I took an auditioning class, which was very helpful for me. I got sick at the last 2 days, so I missed some information there, but I'm still learning along the way, And I took a lot of classes that helped me grow, not even just as an actor, but as a human being, getting to understand like who you are and your purpose in life. I think you can come from the stage, or anything that you really do.
Well, off topic though, you dip your toes in like different fields and like working and like obviously you try different like fields in education too. Yeah. So big props to you, man, for like fucking take a huge step and getting out of your comfort zone and doing all that. Like the odds were against you, and and you found yourself and you did all this. So absolutely. I'm really proud to hear that. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that.
And for you audiences out there, hey, that's an inspiring story. If Hebron can do it, you guys can like step on your toes on stuff that you're interested in too.
Amen.
You know what? How many times on this podcast have we heard these college stories where it's like they went for one thing and they found a completely different passion project that they went towards, and it starts.
LeBron literally took a risk and
it sets them up
and lost his job. And found like who he was.
Yeah. And it was one of those jobs where like you're gonna be working in project managing or coordinator or whatever, and you're gonna kind of grow up in the corporate ladder. I didn't care for any of that anymore. I didn't care to work in these kind of jobs anymore. I didn't really care to.
That wasn't your passion.
It was really not my passion, And I understand, people in the arts are looked down upon it sometimes because it's like they only want to focus on the art thing, and I get it. It's true. Like we do just want to, be space to ourselves and really understand our creativity, understand like our motives and everything, and really get into the field, But I do have to admit, we do have to still work. We still have to do certain things to provide for ourselves because things are getting expensive nowadays.
Yeah,
I see what you're doing.
And I do remember watching like an interview of like a famous actor or actress. I forgot who, but they were like saying that back when they even started like becoming a famous actor or actress in the, like movie production and stuff like that, they had to work like double jobs to provide for themselves and to make a living in order to continue acting.
Yeah, man. It's not an uncommon story.
Yeah, obviously you hear Hebron, like he's been trying to do all these things to keep his acting like alive.
Yeah, exactly.
So I personally don't know anything about like the acting industry, but you're not expecting to get any profit for a long time, right?
I would like to, of course. That's every actor's dream, but. I think what had happened with a lot of actors is they get discouraged about, whether they're getting paid or not. And I get it, bills need to be paid, the things need to get bought, all those kind of stuff, but man, for me, it's like, I would do plays. Like, I'm doing a play right now, and I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm not looking for money. I'm looking for growth, I think that's what a lot of people miss out on opportunities. It's because they're only looking for a value, like a profitable value, And I feel like if you're going to chase that the whole time in acting, then don't get into acting, honestly, man. You got to really understand that, like, getting into anything in the arts, you're going to have to spend some time not making any money.
Yeah. I might be wrong, but like if you're just chasing for them, like paying, I feel like you're not getting as much attention or growth out of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you're like willing to like be open about like, free, like doing free plays and stuff like that, you might get more attention.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you're showing yourself basically to the world more and more and more freely too.
Exactly, yeah.
And like when your chance get, taken, a person will come up to you like, hey, check out this thing I'm trying to do or something. Come join our like movie production or TV show.
There you go. Yeah. Little opportunities like that, and I'm doing a play right now, Kitsap. It's a forest theater. It's like outside theater, and I heard about this guy who was in one of the plays. I forgot which play it was. Probably was Into the Woods or something. And he gets a call from some agent in Broadway, New York Broadway, and now he's a dancer for Broadway, making money off of that, you know. And he was doing a play which didn't pay him at all, and he had to probably travel like an hour. I have to drive like an hour every weekend just to go perform and stuff, but it's worth it. I love the process of it. I love being on stage. I love performing. I love giving it my all, And honestly, I don't care if I'm wasting money on gas or anything like that or food or whatever, because
it's your passion, your happiness,
and exactly. And it's just like. Opportunities do come to those who really do seek it out. And I feel bad because, I know a lot of people in my theater program at school, they're very talented, very, very talented people. But I can see that they're only looking for money out of this. That's upsetting. I do want to make money off of it, but that's not my only goal. You know what I mean? So it's very upsetting because I know they can get into a lot of different opportunities, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, okay, I mean, like, if you're only going to look for money, that means that's more opportunity for me.
I was just going to say,
like, less competition for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I was saying, like, you get to show yourself more to the world than the people who are, like, looking for the, like, money jobs.
Exactly.
Because it's very hard because there's other actors and actresses out there competing for the money jobs, too.
Exactly.
If you get the free ones, you get so much more opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. And honestly,
it's practice.
Practice is number one thing, man, And I think also coming into acting, I was a bit headstrong, and I was basically saying like, I can do this, I can do that, I can do all that kind of stuff, but man, I had a lot of skills that I needed to develop, and it took a long time for me to. I'm still working on them. I don't think you ever stop working
What's one of the biggest skill that you're still practicing right now that you think you need to practice?
Besides the lines.
Yeah.
Besides the lines, yeah.
Besides the lines. The confidence, I'll say. Confidence really is a skill that needs to be developed.
How do you build your confidence before plays right now?
I meditate a little bit, I do a lot of tongue twisters. That's what a lot of theater people do. That's one that I always do. I could do it right now, actually. It's to sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a sharp shock from a chippy chopper in a big black block. That's what we have to do. We have to do that every time before a play. Yeah, that's any.
That sounds like a bar.
I thought he struggled with lines though.
That was a bar.
If you meet any theater kid, they know that tongue twister. That one it's so helpful for getting.
That line was twisting and looping.
That is crazy.
He just brought it out. Like, what you mean?
No, man, we practice that. We make sure that we have that down before we get into any stage. If any actor. They have that down for themselves.
How many times do you do that per day?
I probably got to do it at least 15 times before I go on stage. And there are other tongue twisters too that I'm working on as well.
That's crazy.
So you you don't stutter or just like
to make sure that you're enunciating correctly. Yeah, that's the main point because that's hard for a lot of actors, and a lot of people in general. To really.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot of words.
Yeah, that was a lot. I'm like, oh, it's really ends here. Nah, it just keeps going. I'm like, bro, ain't no way, bro. I would have struggled at 4 words.
I can't even do the basic tongue twister.
It was crazy too. I was thinking, I'm like, low-key, this could help with a lot of things, especially if you feel I want to do music. I'm like, let me try to remember what he's saying. He keeps going. I'm like, oh, he's still going. He's still going. Never mind, bro. You got it.
Man, music is some other thing, man. Music, people who do music, man, props to them. That is hard art, and people do not realize.
Have you ever thought about doing like any musicals?
I'm doing a musical right now. Actually. The musical I'm doing right now has been pretty fun. I've been able to sing and dance, which has been really good. I wasn't really used to that because I'm usually used to more, straight play, straight acting and film and everything. Yeah. But this is something I'm trying to.
Did you have to Did you have to train voice?
Yeah,
dancing,
and dancing and stuff like that.
Yeah. I now know how to waltz, know how to ballroom dance and all that sort of thing. So that's been pretty cool.
You're picking up. See, that's the best thing about. I feel like that's the best thing about acting. You're picking up everything. Like new skills. You got to play that role.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't see Jackie Chan doing like no waltz, doing a musical.
Yeah. Well, Jackie Chan, he does method acting, and that's specific types of acting for certain people, But for me, I want to engage in a lot of different types of acting, a lot of different
and that's great. Because I feel you, like I said, you get seen more and more opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah.
Off topic though, what's funny is that I never thought The Rock was singing Moana.
That was him
singing? Does he sing Moana?
Yeah, he sing.
He does sing. He does sing.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
You're welcome. That's him?
Yeah.
He made a rap song.
No way, that's not him.
Yeah, that's him. That is definitely him.
He kind of killed it, bro. He kind of killed it.
I was surprised. That's what I'm saying. I was surprised.
That's fine. Okay.
I was surprised. I was not expecting that from him.
Yeah, I know. Me neither.
Especially the movies that he usually do. I did not expect that from him.
Like, we know he's a great actor, but that means he's singing and dancing. That big bald dude singing and dancing.
Did he sing a little bit on WWE? Like, he had an acoustic. I think he did some songs
there.
No way. Really?
I think a little bit, yeah. He made some diss song about John Cena one time.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is
John Cena reads song.
Yeah. That was funny stuff. That was funny stuff. I liked it.
You know what's made me think about? Does that mean Vin Diesel? He's over there singing and dancing. That means aggressive family. Vin Diesel's over there hitting fucking walls just to get in his place. That's insane to think about. Now, every time I watch a movie, I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah.
This dude knows how to waltz. That's what I'm gonna think of.
Right, yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of actors, they're picky, and I guess that could work for a lot of different people because a lot of people want to focus on one sort of style of acting, But for me, I want it badly, so it's like I can't just be picky choosy with whatever role I get.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, obviously, I have some sort of standard for how I want to presume myself, but a lot of the time, I'm willing to take on a role that is completely different from who I am, and just kind of jumping into that character and really seeing their perspective on life. It's very interesting. It's a very, very beautiful thing, I would say, and I sometimes I don't know. It's weird that I get upset that a lot of people can't experience it, because it's some other like high level, like it's just amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
But
I know that feeling you're talking about too.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to those who are trying to be an inspired actor or actresses out there right now?
Man, just do it. Honestly, you kind of have to go out and. There's one quote from this one guy. You remember? Have you guys watched Holes?
Yeah.
You watch Holes, right? Number 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave out this one quote. I don't even know if it's considered a quote, but he basically.
Was he an instructor too?
No, he was not an instructor. No. I watched some of his videos,
Gotcha.
But he basically said that a lot of actors come up to him and ask him like, "Oh, what do I got to do to get into acting?" And he just says, "Go act." Literally, just go act. Like, there's so many opportunities to do that. You can really, like, what I learned in theater is that any place can be a theater. It doesn't have to be an actual stage. Like, this place can be a theater. Like, outside your front yard, that can be a theater.
Right.
So just go act, go do things, go find yourself, try it out, and just see what.
So when it comes to acting, like, what are you like? I guess I'm kind of confused. What are you trying to act to? Like, what role are you trying to act to? Like, you said, like, we can go outside and have a theater. What role will we get into?
I mean, anything.
Like,
honestly.
anything?
Like, honestly, like, what I'm saying that is, like, you can go out and create your own roles,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And,
so,
yeah.
My fault. So, like, if you want to practice right now, you want to practice with us, we're like, we're down, you just come up with something on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's literally all it is. And the thing is, a lot of agencies and a lot of different places look for that. They look for people who are just creative and can just make something out of nothing, And then they see that, and then they see how serious they are.
Can you do an accent?
Huh?
Can you do an accent?
Can I do an accent? Let me see if I can do
What you mean? I was just what?
That one I was practicing for a little while, so I mean,
I just gotta test it.
Oh, man. This man got all this limitless talents, man. What? Bro? What? Okay, man. That stuff's cool, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
That stuff was cool.
Hebron got some interesting things.
Yeah. Something I was thinking about too was like, because you're putting yourself in all these different roles, like when you're acting, like you have to literally kind of envision yourself as that person, right?
Yeah.
How is that kind of moving through life, kind of like having an experience, like, I don't know, how am I trying to explain this, where it's like, before acting, you're just yourself, but after you had the experience of trying to, like, let yourself out, like, dig deep and pull that out, or play a different role, doesn't that kind of change how you can go through life? Like maybe you get put in a situation. And it's
for sure.
You know,
100%.
a situation where you need to be angry. You like pull from how you were before.
Yeah, exactly. You know, what I used to think acting was just like completely like leaving yourself and just forgetting who you are and then like just jumping into one person. But I'm actually wrong on that. You know, you have to kind of you have to pick some things that happen in your life and have that contribute to the character that you're trying to play. You know, so a lot of times when you're acting, for specifically for film, it has to have this natural sense that, you know, it belongs with you. In theater, you can be a little bit more animated. You can be like, oh, yeah, this kind of stuff. And just kind of make up these emotions. But in film, you have to be very natural. You have to really see yourself in this feeling. And it's just like, if you have that with you, then you
gotta
can
make it
like
away, as real as
you have to make it as real as possible.
To the like, as possible to the character that you're playing.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So you really, before you start acting, or once you get a script, I learned this in theater class, analyzing and interpreting theater. You have to really analyze the script and understand what they're going through, what kind of feelings they're having, you know. But you can make some things up for yourself and then show the director, you know. But usually when I go into an audition now, I don't really think too much about the character because it's like, okay, I'm gonna be thinking about what this character has rather than practicing on how I can, you know, interpret this character myself, you know. So I just kind of go in there as myself, not as the character, as myself. Because if you're yourself all the time, like how we are right now, we're not acting. We're just being ourselves. We're being natural, you know. Right, so you kind of have to take that into acting as well. And I felt like for myself, I struggle with that a little bit because when I'm acting, like I want people to know I'm acting, you know. But I think the trick is you're not supposed to let people know that you're acting. It has to be really like just natural. It has to flow with it, you know. So that's something I'm learning right now.
That makes sense, actually. You can't be like showing people the obvious.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you gotta be like.
Literally, literally in the moment. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, and you know, like I'm making a film series right now, actually, and you know, my character right now, he's very devious, suspicious, and very like just. You want to know more about him because he's so calm. Because there's so much things, there's atrocities happening in front of him, so many horrific events, so many things that he's been told, but he's very still and calm. You know, so I've developed the character already, written everything out. Right now we're casting, so I'm gonna let you guys know about that actually.
He's working on his own film.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Wow,
what?
That's insane.
Man.
How long is this film that you're planning on?
In terms of like length for each episode,
length.
Well, it's gonna be 7 episodes. 7 episodes. An hour each.
Okay.
And my main goal is to get it out into film festivals. You know.
Okay.
Once I get it out to film festivals.
Are you gonna be posted on YouTube?
Yeah, everywhere.
All right, stay tuned. We're gonna have links.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the goal of releasing this release date?
The goal for release date, you know, my plan is to start rehearsals and start practicing it around September. Okay. So right now I'm just looking for a spot to film everything. You know, I already got the project coordinator, I got the director, I got the writer, I got the filmmakers. I have my actor for myself, just me. Right. So right now I'm looking for casting and a place to film. You know, so looking for like a little basement, like sketchy sort of area, sort of thing. So but the goal for this this film is to bring a lot of awarenesses to a lot of different issues, you know, along the world, you know. And I guess in some sort of ways it does touch on men's mental health, you know. I'm
not gonna lie, I love films like that.
Yeah.
Around like the world issues and it's
Taxi Driver, Fight Club.
Yeah. So, you know, that's something I definitely want to work on. But during the meantime of making this film, I still want to contribute to theater as well. You know, being on stage, honing my own craft. You know, I still want to be doing these things. So.
Have you did other films before?
Yeah. So I was in this little indie film last year. My friend Yao knew and created, and I played this bodyguard. Of course, you know how big I am. You know, this bodyguard. You know, so that was really fun.
Yeah,
I did a couple short films here and there. This Christmas special, which was nice.
Did any of them made it to the film festival?
So one of them is getting put on the film festival pretty soon.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that can maybe give me some little recognition. You know?
Yeah, congrats.
What's the film? Yeah, congratulations. But what's the film festival?
It's basically
what's the film festival?
Yeah, I let Hebron play.
The film festival is basically a place where a lot of individual filmmakers put their films on. And, you know, it's getting shown by a lot of different agencies, a lot of different producers, a lot of different people in the industry. Yeah. And if you win, you can kind of get it on some sort of streaming service. So my goal is to have it on either Tubi, because Tubi's taking a lot of people right now, especially, like, you know, black filmmakers. So it's very much of a open space, open community. So that's my goal for Tubi right now. Also, Amazon Prime I'm looking at as well because that has a lot of more opportunity. You know, things like Netflix.
Amazon Prime's actually been a lot more open to like.
It has been, yeah. Netflix, HBO is very like you got to be in Hollywood. To get in there, you know, or unless you're really lucky, it's possible. But
I've been seeing some Netflix stuff. There is some like
there's some indie films. Yeah.
Are those more like foreign though? Like they're indie, like less American.
There is some
Hollywood stuff over there, you know, which is pretty interesting. But I think it's more of like more formulated, more like, you know, more intact with how Hollywood's supposed to make things, you know. Okay. So I think that's just something that I'm still working on myself, but quite not there yet. So my goal is to still like, you know, hone my craft, you know, make sure that I am becoming a better actor, you know,
getting ready for it.
Exactly. So, you know, making these movies and films is something I definitely want to do and definitely want to continue doing, but it's kind of a way to show, you know, different agencies, different producers how I act, you know, who I am, and, you know, what I'm called to do and how I can, you know, pick up a scene and all that sort of thing, you know. So that's something I
it's great that you picked up writing and the English craft because that's helping you on like your craft right now.
That's right.
Because, you know, he was really doing English.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, becoming an English teacher, but then he transitioned to acting.
I didn't even think about
now
that.
he's starting to make his own film and do all that. It's just building all to one.
Exactly.
Even though he tipped his toe in that, he
got the experience.
He incorporated that skill.
But that being said, don't feel afraid to try new things. Dip your toes in things.
You got to.
You don't know how long the effects will last on you.
That's what I'm saying, man. You know, life is so short.
Take risks.
You gotta take risks in this life, bro. Honestly, man. I wouldn't say I played it safe my whole life before, like I got into acting, but man, I just kind of had one goal, which is to work for the rest of my life and work at some sort of corporate or whatever, you know.
Right.
I'm not hating on the 9 to 5. I think it's useful for a lot of people, especially artists. They need this kind of stuff, but it's just like, man, there's just so much more out there, bro.
I think it works for certain people, and there's like also like people who's really creative like you, like who doesn't want to do a 9 to 5 and want to be shown more of the creative side.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like I don't like working the 9 to 5 job too, to be honest. Like it's good for the money wise, but like for mental health and like if you're not into it, it's not that best.
And I kind of have this philosophy of like, you know, if everything's getting so expensive, then what's the point of just working now?
Yeah, exactly. You're just working for paycheck, like living off paycheck.
Exactly. So it's just like if that's how we're gonna be living, might as well to go out and,
all out and do something you love.
Else you love, you know, exactly. Yeah.
So at least like, try to find some happiness into doing what you're doing.
Yeah, bro. That's just honestly how it is, you know. Yeah. But I still will be working in education this coming September, you know, just to make sure that I'm financially stable, you know, because acting does take some time and money. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm good to be able to produce these films, so I can stay still, you know, taking on these roles and doing all that sort of thing. So it's good to be stable when doing this kind of thing.
Have you inspired any kids to look into acting?
That's my goal for this September. I'm gonna be working full time at the behavior technician. So basically working with kids and, you know, who have IEP, special ed, all that kind of stuff. But
that's what my girlfriend does.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, same with that.
That's what's up. But then I'm also gonna have a part-time job where I'm gonna be teaching kids poetry of like hip hop or something. What? So yeah, and you know, it's a very diverse group of kids. You know, I worked with them last May, basically last school year, and you know, I definitely want to get them to be more in tune with their creativity, you know, and see what that can lead them to. Right. Because a lot of them are writers, a lot of them are drawers, a lot of them are just active talkers, you know, but they have a gift. I know all of them do.
Wait, I want to pause because you're talking about creativity, but I feel like a lot of the kids right now, their creativity's been taken away from iPads and iPhones and Apple Watches and all that. It's kind of hard to think out the box. Xboxes and stuff like that.
I thought about that too a lot.
Yeah, you know, Toy Story 5 is making a movie about that, about like, you know that girl Bonnie?
Right, yeah.
It's like her with an iPad, and then the toys are just...
She's not playing with the toys anymore.
And it's just...
Bro, I swear to God, back even when we just had flip phones, I would be playing with cardboard boxes. Fucking imagination. I would pretend like, oh, I'm a secret like a secret spy in the grocery store.
Absolutely right. You make
those are the true, like, creative, imaginative, like, play style that I miss.
You're absolutely right. Literally
that I don't see with kids nowadays.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
So sad.
Like, I see my brother literally just literally just play on his Xbox.
It's sad.
Fortnite.
It's something I think about a lot. You know, it's sad, but it's also like it's just a new generation kind of thing. You know,
so it's like every generation has issues with the next generation. You know, so
but that's the thing, though. Like what Hebron is saying is that like it's perfect what he's doing because he's trying to like innovate creativity to these kids. But bring them back because we're gonna lose it eventually.
Yeah, bro.
And it's gonna suck.
Yeah, and like who's gonna be making the movies? Who's gonna be making these books? Who's gonna be making these writings? All these.
It's stories, lost bro. Art.
It's gonna be lost art.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Because poetry, it's losing kind of in a way.
It is.
Yeah, no one really lists like
a lot of creative things are kind of getting lost when it comes to
no one really appreciate like art in general as much.
Yeah, I'm really worried about the theater setting here in Seattle because. To be able to get into performances, you obviously have to audition, but there's some sort of agency sort of thing with theater Puget Sound, and that's where a lot of people have auditions. That's where a lot of people can get to know the theater industry a little bit more, and now they're looking for donations, and that's sad because it's like, man, they were making so much money from like Fifth Ave, the Paramount, all these other theater places, but now it's like they're asking us for donations because they don't know how long they can stay up and be able to help.
I've seen a lot of the theaters been closed down from my childhood.
Sad, bro. It's actually so sad because it's like that's a place where we can come together and like be creative, like create something together and just kind of like involve ourselves with just so much art and passion. It's just going away, and it's just so upsetting, you know, because it's kind of like I always it's
becoming a lost art in Seattle. Though.
It is.
Yeah, crazy.
And, I always looked at theater as like some things that people do, which is kind of weird, but okay, whatever, But now it's like, man, this place is like a healing place for it. It's so therapeutic to be in the theater for a lot of different people, and the reason I like about it, and it's inclusivity, but it's like you're literally with people who are like 75-year-old to like a 12-year-old all coming together from like different perspectives, different political views are just all going away, and then now we're just creating art together. We're literally being in a place where we're all seeing each other for who we are, rather than like our
basically like a safe community.
It's a very safe community, and I'm afraid it's going away, because it's just not interesting anymore. But I guess that's what happens.
Everyone's focused on other stuff now.
The money,
creativity.
I know.
It's usually the money.
Yeah.
Or the
I mean, the majority of the creativity that you see nowadays is basically like YouTube and like TikTok.
Yeah,
stuff
TikTok.
Like that.
Doing a lot of it.
I guess we have like short attention span or something like that.
Yeah.
Like we can't stay full attention after a minute.
I know.
Hard to be patient and just sit there with your thoughts. That's another thing too.
I know.
It's hard to be creative if you don't just sit there and let yourself register thoughts.
But then you realize
nobody's doing that.
Then you realize people are scrolling like TikTok for like an hour after watching like a minute of each video.
And they don't even remember the videos that they watched 3 times before.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, bro, come on, man. Like,
I honestly I can't even remember what I watched yesterday.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. I probably remember like at least 3 TikToks from like this week already. It's like, bro.
I can only remember the trends that overplays on TikTok.
The ones that are overdone.
Like that. But other than that, I can't really remember the.
We need the internet detox, man. We need it bad.
We do.
We need it
bad. Yeah, man. No.
Honestly, if I have kids, I would want to train them.
Oh yeah,
me too.
I want to avoid like the iPads or whatever the generational technology.
I want to introduce to them, but I wanted to so they know that there's an effect to it, and there's also a benefit from detoxing. Stay away from it.
The thing is, I always thought about doing that as well, but it's just the one thing I worry about is okay, they're gonna have other people in class talking about the new game, the new Fortnite, the new skin. It's like I'm missing out. That makes my parents are like lamos are old and stuff like that. That's something I worry about a little bit because a lot of kids nowadays are always kind of compare themselves, but
also see kids that who also love being creative.
That's true.
So I feel like if you show some of it, they'll be like they want to touch their toes in it.
Exactly.
Maybe they might expand more on that.
Exposure, man.
Don't even care about the video games anymore.
Exactly. But anything that we can use to escape, reality sometimes is important. Because that's where art comes in. But also, video game kind of has that simulation as well.
No, it does. I'm not gonna lie. So the previous pod that we had. We talk about how video games helps us escape our reality. I like to use video games to escape sometimes in my reality if I'm depressed or whatever. I like to be another world in the video game. It's probably like being another world in acting because you're not really in your own world in a way.
Exactly. It's a really beautiful thing. It's like I think for me, I don't know what it was, but I kind of figured that maybe the feeling that we can have that that everyone should go after is like the sort of youthful feeling, you know, the feeling that we had when we were kids, when we had like everything was just okay, you know. I mean, for a lot of people, it wasn't like that, you know. So obviously, I don't want people to go back to that place. But for me, I had an amazing childhood. Of course, I had two working parents, and you know, I had amazing things going up, and so I'm grateful for what I have.
Right.
And you know, when I'm acting, I find myself in that same sort of state of mind of like everything's okay, everything's good. I'm having fun. I'm being a kid. I'm being creative. You know, it's amazing. You know, and I felt like I was trying to find that with a lot of different careers. You know, I think that's why I kind of switched around because I wasn't seeing that in all the other things I'm doing. I wasn't seeing that in working, education, tutoring a little bit because you know you are working with kids, so you do kind of see the kid in yourself in there. But you know, in marketing and other stuff, I was not finding this for myself, man, at all. Like I just felt more of like, okay, I'm just becoming an adult and I'm gonna be probably like just working so hard my whole life and
you didn't want to be the norm.
You don't want to be the norm, bro.
Yeah, really those norms and the desk doing 9 to 5.
And I don't think anyone is a norm. I think everybody is actually like unique and creative. I just think I don't think they found that
exposure.
And there's no age limit to finding that too. You know, like I know there's one lady in my theater. I think she's stage manager. Yeah, she's a stage manager, and she's about 50 years old, in her 50s, and she's still figuring out what she wants to do with herself. You know, I said that's good. Totally that's good. Cool. That's amazing. Yeah. That's a journey right there. You know, you don't have to have everything figured out. I feel like I had to have everything figured out when I was going through you know, computer classes and STEM classes and all that sort of thing. I felt like I had to really be that person who just knows math and knows code systems and all that sort of thing to be able to make some money, and then that's just it, you know.
Well, I think going off that, you know, especially a lot of kids after high school, they feel the pressure of figuring things out.
I know, but we're only 18.
Yeah, bro. That's the worst part. That's the worst part because everyone's like, oh, let's after high school we either got to go to college or get our shit figured out right away, and then all these kids have these like depression because they're like, you know,
they never found themselves at all.
They're like, they don't
went from one thing to another without sitting in between figuring out what's actually happening.
They don't have time to like figure themselves out or figure what they want to do. They're just forced themselves to do shit they don't probably like. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
But on that journey though, there's a chance that you find yourself. Exactly. So don't be afraid to dip into things.
Yes.
And also experience those shit moments. To be honest.
Yeah,
that's
bro,
those
failures,
that's what it's
bro.
about.
That's what gets us going in the morning, bro. I swear to God. Those failures, bro, they do something to us. You know, they got us to learn. That's the most important thing out of life is learning and actually understanding what you went through and how you can use that in the future. You know, so I love my failures. Honestly, I respect it. I remember one time I failed a class and I was just like, you know what? For some reason, I'm not upset about this because I'm like, you know, maybe I can learn something from this. You know, because at the time I was taking a lot of L's, man. I've been taking so many L's. I'm still taking L's. You know. But that time specifically, I was just
our L's wouldn't shape who we are, where we are at the moment.
Exactly, man. Yeah. So, you know, embrace it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Is, you know, and just accept it. And,
I think
the
biggest like motivator for me that I'm hearing from you is like you talking about how you just went up to that play, just tried it. You know, like to me, like putting myself in your shoes, right? Someone that's always, you know, nervous and shy and whatnot. You know,
that's
if I was there,
that's like a he literally stepped out his comfort zone.
He did it
and
that
put
moment.
himself out there that he's not even known to like really like know anything about acting.
And that's those like upcoming. What's it called?
Uplifting.
Or it's like a movie, like a documentary about a famous person who made it. And it's the journey.
Gotcha.
What's the word? I can't think of the word for some reason.
I fucking know what you're talking about, man. I can't think of it.
Well, anyways, it's you know, it's usually,
but if you know, whenever Hebron gets famous, this will be a great story.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, like that's going to be
a
in the movie.
That's a journey. You can already make a movie about yourself right now.
That's literally that would be in the movie. The documentary, the movie, that would be in it. You know? That would absolutely.
And then we'll have people casting us on the podcast. Talking about Hebron's journey.
This is where it all started.
That's so crazy because I was literally just watching the Beatles.
Oh
my God! And seeing how they came up was just like they were just playing the whole time. They weren't really like focused on the work. I mean, obviously they had to work, you know, but they were mostly just
in the
four guys just goofing around, being kids, and just seeing whatever they can
doing
you know?
what they enjoy. Yeah,
and they literally are the reason why music is the way it is today. You know?
Exactly.
It's inspiring, honestly, to see how it all played out. But obviously, you know, coming into fame, like a lot of people I know, they struggle with a lot of different things, bro. It's not easy keeping up that rep. So it's a tough industry, and you know, if I get in it, it's cool. If not, it's okay. You know, as long as I get to act, as long as I'm making a living off of acting for the rest of my life, that's all that really matters to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Being able to, learn these stories.
Doing what you love.
Myself, exactly.
Yeah. The meaning of life right there.
That's all it is, And right now I'm doing a play, right, in a forest theater. And it's an outside theater. It's really cool. It's Cinderella, actually, So I'm playing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm playing as a knight. I'm playing as a townsperson. I'm playing as a horse as well, bro. I'm playing all these different characters as a horse, bro. It's crazy. It's so inspiring to being able to do these things. 'Cause I never expected myself to be out there dancing and singing and just doing some waltz dancing and all that kind of stuff, man. It was hard, of course, getting over there. It's a lot, but man, it's just would I rather be doing some sort of office job, or would I rather be playing in a forest all day?
Yeah.
Princess World, bro. That's amazing. That's a beautiful thing.
That is.
Yeah.
And it's bro, I wish people can experience this thing, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun. And
imagine getting paid for it too, doing the stuff that you love, imagining in a world that you're
Oh, this one I'm not even getting paid for it too.
I know, but imagine though getting paid for it too. That's amazing because you're doing something that you love, being in a whole different world.
The definition of making it.
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm just trying to tell people who get into acting, do not be picky choosy.
Yeah,
because these are roles that are offered to you. Take it, as long as it doesn't affect with your, religious belief or whatever, that kind of stuff, be understanding of that. But
within whatever boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, for me, I had to be afraid of not looking goofy, let me rephrase that. I had to not be afraid of being goofy, looking dumb, on stage, because I played a character that was in astronomy, a physicist. And he was someone who had a lot of issues with himself, he had a lot of insecurities. He had a lot of, animosity. He had a lot of different things going on for himself. He had a father that had high expectations for him. And then now it's a play based in 1920. And, obviously 1920, there's issues with women's rights and a lot of different rights, of course, But his whole thing was just seeing a lot of different women being able to, outsmart him. And he had that kind of be what's wrong with me? I'm a man. Or sometimes I know, what's right, what's wrong. Should I know, should I be smarter, Having to play that was kind of hard because I didn't want to put that sort of persona into my head.
And you didn't want people to think that you actually betrayed that.
Exactly. Nothing you can really pull from,
Exactly. Exactly. So it's I had to make sure that I'm good, to play this character. And I honestly I tried to pat myself in the back, but I killed that role, and it was really fun being able to play a goofy, nerdy, insecure sort of guy. Because I had to bring up some things from the past that made me feel those things insecure and stuttery and all this sort of thing. And it was really, really fun, And I just feel a lot of people can get into this and say, F it, let me see what I can do out of this,
Right.
And I feel for me, I just kind of put myself in there and got to understand the character a little bit and had a lot of fun with it. So now I'm going to be doing so I have an audition tomorrow this one's for an ensemble. It's this Irish play. I don't know too much about it, but it's again singing and dancing. But then in March I'm going to be performing at Center Stage, and it's a paid gig, so it's pretty cool. And it's basically the same play I did before, but I knew the director and she told me to audition, and I'm just this is all signs from God, because when I got to the play last year, I didn't get into a play at my school and I was very depressed, but I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe God has another plan for me. And now he does, because I did the other play. And because I did that play, now I have another opportunity to do a play again at a bigger stage, at a bigger theater, So I think, when one door shuts, another door opens sort of thing. It's real.
No, exactly.
I really, really believe it, because I was so down bad that time. I was so depressed that I was not being able to be on that stage that winter quarter. But, being able to do this play again, it's amazing. And for much more paid and for bigger audiences, it's gonna be amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a good note to leave it on the break.
Absolutely,
man. We're gonna take a quick break over here. Appreciate you guys listening in. I appreciate Hebron coming out, showing some love to his story. Absolutely. I really do.
Very inspiring.
Congrats to you making it. To do what you're doing, happy, and
thank you.
I'm really inspired by listening to your story. Especially stepping out your comfort zone and stepping out your toes on other things. Yeah,
there's a lot of universal information too.
Yeah. For sure. Appreciate you guys.
All right, thanks, guys. All right, we back from break.
Welcome back.
We got some inspiration from Hebron's story. Thomas got some inspiration from Hebron's story. Yes. I got some inspiration from Hebron's story. Desmond got some inspiration from Hebron's story. This sounds like a dub
It sounds like a dub. Another coming dub on the FHF.
I forgot my little play thing. A natural claps are good.
Natural electronic claps.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Actually, I have a question. I didn't really get to ask earlier, but do you think moving out of Seattle, like going to like LA or New York, would you have more opportunities in the acting field?
Definitely. For me right now, I think I want to get everything I can out of Seattle. You know, all the experiences, my portfolio, my credentials, everything I want to get out of Seattle because this is my home, you know.
Right.
And I could see Seattle kind of being like growing a little bit in film, very, very, very slowly, like slowly but surely.
Yeah.
But honestly, to make it out into the big, industries and Hollywood and all that sort of thing, the best places would definitely be L.A., New York. Atlanta's popping right now, especially with Tyler Perry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Atlanta's popping right now.
Interesting.
From Black artists, but it's amazing over there. So I'm considering that place as well.
The state of black talent.
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah. Chicago a little bit. Chicago has a lot of theatrical settings, so I thought Chicago might be a cool place to just perform and then leave sort of thing. Vancouver, Canada is coming together pretty good.
Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah, that's where The Rock does a lot of his movies actually.
The Rock?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think with Riverdale, the one Netflix show.
Okay.
Yeah, that was on the Makeover Canada. So there's a lot of different places out there. Seattle's more of theater and a little bit of film, but as of right now, I do want to be making my series here in Seattle, and then kind of using that as a way for me to grow into different cities as well.
Do you have like a goal line to where you want to reach before you leave Seattle?
Yeah, just making sure that I have all my films done, you know. So after the movie and after the series, I'm also doing another movie on top of the series.
Okay,
as well, so
damn.
That one's gonna take some time as well, but that one's also gonna be really good. So after I did that, one of my friends who's a writer who's helping me write these stories, he has another story he wants to show, and I want to help him out with that before I think of moving to a different city. So I still have some work to do over here.
Right.
And I still have some plays that I definitely want to do over here too. So I'm just trying to see exactly how long it'll take for me, and am I gonna be able to be satisfied enough? So I'm not really looking at like a certain time, just my satisfaction. If I did it, if I need to do what I have to do here in Seattle, then I'll be able to move out to a different city and see what else I can do.
Like what you said about making the most of Seattle.
Yeah,
it's a good mindset. People don't really say that often at all. That's a good mindset.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's always how I wanted to go about this thing. It's just like Seattle isn't a huge film city. It's more of a tech place, more of a business oriented place. But for me, it's like there is art in Seattle. There are artists in Seattle, so I definitely want to collab with them because they all have the same dream as I have.
Yeah. Have you did any commercials in Seattle?
I didn't do a commercial. I did this one health thing where it was so funny because it was kind of like print modeling because it was like me acting as a patient, and then like it was these doctors like pretending to like do some sort of surgery on me. It was so weird, but
interesting.
That's kind of when I was starting off, and I'm just like, it pays. My agent got it for me, and I was like, okay, whatever. I could just do it, So it was far away, but I mean, I met some other cool people too that I definitely want them to audition for my movie. So like doing little things like that, can really make some sort of connection. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask about too. How do you even get for like the newer upcoming or aspiring actors? How do they even set up that community? How do they get started in finding a community to work with?
I think having an agency helps a lot because your agency sets you out on certain things like commercials or print shoots and all that sort of thing. So it's like, when you're meeting other people there, you're going to see their inspirations, what they're going for, their upcomings and all that sort of thing. You get to see that they also have the same dream that you do. So, having to collab with them a little bit can get you to open a lot of doors with them, Also get into theater. I think a lot of people, they want to get into film. They want to get into, movie settings and all that sort of thing. But man, the theater will take you places. I'm telling you, man.
Are people passing over theater, or is it? Are people passing over theater often, or?
Yeah, they are.
Really?
They are. A lot of people just want to get into film, and I understand that, But honestly, the epitome of acting, like where acting really comes from, is the stage. So once you kind of get that going for yourself, I think coming into film would be a lot easier. And I've been told that like the best actors did start off in theater, like Jake Gyllenhaal. I'd probably saying the last name wrong. Denzel started from the theater. Tyler Perry started from the theater. A lot of these good actors started from the theater. So I get really upset when people talk bad about it because I'm just like, this is a place where people grow and being able to play a lot of different roles, And I would say like theater is less limited than film because theater, there's like 1 billion different plays out there, man. A lot of different stories out there that are getting played out every day.
And that's like the OG film too. Because back in the days, we didn't have cameras or whatever, like a studio. It's just in plays. Yeah, it's staged.
Exactly, yeah. But now it's just like, I think with theater, it grew a lot to a lot of people who didn't have, the stage, didn't have the resources that they needed at the time, So that's why you see a lot of people doing plays outside, like, Shakespeare in the Park. That was the thing where it's like, they started off with, Shakespeare in the Park out like thousands of years ago, but not Shakespeare, but a lot of different plays, and having that progress over time was just, it's amazing seeing how that all plays out today, because it's like, you've seen plays from like hundreds of years ago and you've seen it play out today. It's like, wow, we're seeing how humanity really was, and we're getting to see how people experience their own lives, their own creativity, their own expression, and it's a beautiful thing, and I feel like a lot of people miss that opportunity. So
I heard Tom Holland is in a play right now.
Yeah.
He's not really doing movies at the moment. He's focused on the plays.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting, because he's doing quite the opposite than like what other actors would do, right?
The complete opposite.
Yeah.
For me, I definitely want to go back and forth. I honestly do see film more in my life because that's where I want to go.
Right.
But I can never leave theater. Theater is more of like a safe. At first, it was like a place where I was scared, but now it's like a place where it's my safe space. And I had to make it my safe space because I felt like in the beginning, like theater wasn't for me. But like when you're seeing things that you really love, you have to make it for yourself, even though it's not going to be there for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had to really force myself to really love it. Not to really love it, but to really feel comfortable in it and be able to be myself in it. Because I felt like, for a long time, like I wasn't able to be myself in a lot of different places. But being on stage allowed me to feel these things, allowed me to, express myself. And I feel like that a lot of people miss out on those kind of opportunities. That's why I see a lot of people who, are angered, are like, easily angered and, have a lot of like, mental health issues and stuff like that. I think the theater can really help out with a lot of different things. But I'm not just saying that for theater. I say that for all other art forms, And
that was
it is an OG platform for actors to perform. I'm just saying, because that's what they did back in the days. No movie stage or anything like that. And I like what you're saying. A lot of people did lose the respect of theater.
That's what I was gonna ask about. What's up with that? What's the stigmatism for it? I don't know nothing about that.
We have this. That's why. We have that. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. I think
no one's gonna go in.
Nobody wants to go and pay to see something when they can see it on their phone. That's just what it is. And
that
special effects.
True. Yeah.
And it just misses out the whole point. In theater, there's a whole saying where it's just like you're not allowed to record. You're not allowed to like take photos or anything because you're supposed to live in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are missing that sometimes. We're not living in the moment.
Well, that's crazy because I see some theaters are performed on the phones. Like I think people are recording it and placing it on YouTube and stuff like that.
They're not supposed to do that.
I think that ruins the experience for like everyone, because like I can watch it for free on the phone. I don't need to go to the actual place.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to just sneak up and just like anyone can do that. But it misses the whole point of like going out there like in person in real life and actually seeing it for your own eyes rather than seeing it behind the screen.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I think all three of us should go see him.
I think y'all should go see it.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do this.
Yeah, for sure.
Let us know.
Yeah, I'm definitely
I got you. Yeah, I'm definitely send that to you guys. Most definitely. Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely want to get people out into theater. Like my friends, they were never really into theater before, but now since I've kind of exposed them to it a little bit, now they're really liking how it is, and they're getting to see what theater really is made out of.
Now, like this conversation, this podcast is making me more curious, and I want to see it. Like, also see you in live action.
Yeah,
too.
man, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll definitely send you guys the information.
Yeah,
it's been really good. Yeah, and honestly, I've never met somebody who went into theater who hated it. That's the thing, I've never met somebody who actually went into theater and said, this is boring, this is not even fun, this is never in my life, Everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody would love being anywhere in the theater, because the theater has so many different components, You have the light people, you have people who are like stage managers, you have the directors, and you have the actors, costumes, makeup, all these different components, So you can definitely find something that you love to do in the theater, and that also could be writing, that could be any other thing, So the theater isn't just acting; it's a whole other world that is conspired of like different art forms, and I think it's just so amazing getting to know that. Because when I went into theater at SPU, like I thought it was just like everyone here is trying to become an actor, but I met a lot of people who want to do tech. I met a lot of people who want to do lights. I met a lot of people who want to be directors, writers, like all these other things, and I'm just like, what? I had a misinformation about how theater really is. Theater is just a whole other world that like a lot of people can get into, and a lot of people can really find skills that they want to hone, you know, but they don't know about it, you know.
Yeah.
They don't know about it, and the thing that's upsetting is that they don't want to know about it, you know.
Do you know people that are in acting or in theater, but they're just doing it for more just like the fun and just actually have a 9 to 5 job?
People can do it for fun. I mean, people can just do it for like a hobby, you know, and I think that's okay. I mean, you know, people don't want to see this as a career, and that's absolutely okay. You know, it's definitely a safe space for
how
anyone,
often is that? What is the ratio for that?
I mean, with the play I'm doing right now, a lot of the people have their own jobs. I know one girl, she has her own dance studio. She plays one of the stepsisters in the Cinderella play. But she's still in art a lot, so I'm pretty sure she's still trying to get into the industry.
Yeah.
There's one girl who's an accountant, and one girl who's like in medicine.
Accountant.
Yeah, accountant. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a lot of other people do have different jobs. The main character playing Prince, he wants to get into acting. He's gonna go to I think Shoreline to do some acting. I did some acting in Shoreline as well, actually. So I know a little bit about that. But I think it just depends. A lot of people see it as a hobby, and that's okay. You know, a lot of people want to get into the field, and that's great. You know, but they just kind of gotta understand that it does take a lot of time, and it does take you to kind of get out of your comfort zone and be very uncomfortable with how life really is handling certain things, you know. But obviously, like, if it's a passion, if it's a goal, then you kind of have to, you know, be okay with rejection. That's one thing I have to learn, being okay with rejection, because I got rejected so many fucking times, bro. Oh my gosh. And but
like you said, one door closes and opens another.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing, you know? And I had to learn not to take it personal, because a lot of directors look at certain people and be like, okay, he would be good, but I need him to act like this. I'm looking for someone who looks like this. Looks do matter in this industry, and unfortunately, it does. You know, it really, really does matter. And people who say it doesn't are totally wrong. You know, because directors are looking for certain people to look a certain way, and if it doesn't match what the director,
it really depends on the director then at that point, because it's really what they want to portray in their story, of their version of their story, I guess, in the way,
and what they can think of using what they got.
Yeah.
How has that like affected anything that you tried to get into so far? Because you know you're a big black dude, you know, so you're not gonna get a lot of the nerdy tech guy, you know, things, roles or anything like that. So it's like,
you know, I think for me, it hasn't been too difficult. I think a lot of directors won't say this, but a lot of them are looking for white guys. But they would never ever say that. They would never admit that in the industry. They would never admit that to their peers. But they are looking for white people only, you know. And I'm okay with that. You know, that's okay. That the story is portrayed by a white person, and if I'm not white, so I'm not gonna pretend I'm white, you know. So it's okay, you know. But you know, being in a play like my producer was talking about doing a Hairspray, you know, and Hairspray is a black play. It's a huge black play, and she was asking me, like, you know, in the most polite way possible, like, do I know anyone who is, you know, African American, you know, because the play I'm doing right now, it's at Kitsap. Kitsap is very, it's a big community theater, but it's been around since like the 1920s actually, and you know, and the whole time I'm like the first black person in that play, actually, you know. I'm not the first black person in that community theater, you know. There's one other Indian guy, and there was one, I think there was one other black person, but like I would say like I'm like one of the first, you know. And you know, she said she wants to do Hairspray, but she wants to be very respectful of it, you know. And I told her, like, you know, it's possible, but I have to be honest with you, I'm like, in my own community, in the African community, in the East African community, I would say like I'm like one of the only ones really pursuing acting. So finding somebody else who would want to do it, it's gonna be a little bit tough, you know. And I told her, like, I'm just being honest, like, I don't really know anybody I don't know anybody else who wants to get into this field like I do, but you know, I'll definitely try my best and see what I can do. And you know, Hairspray is a really good play. Hairspray is really awareness driven play, you know, and I think it's really important for it to be told at a place where it's only surrounded by white plays, you know. So I think it's good. It's a good step, you know. But I think having a play where it's predominantly black could affect some other things, but I think it's mostly about awareness and being able to show that, you know, black art is important. You know, black art has been movements for a lot of different generations. You know? So I learned a lot about Harlem. Like, a lot of people came from, I think kind of how rap like started was through, you know, spreading awareness, and that kind of started from Harlem. Harlem had a lot of black actors, poetry readers, a lot of writers, a lot of different people who can tell stories, a lot of people who are like making things, you know. So giving them the opportunity gave us the opportunity now. So I think now it's just our way of kind of using that as a stepping stone for us to be able to, you know, progress the, you know, the movements or the fight or the expression that we need to desperately tell, you know. So you know, inclusivity and DEI these things are important, you know.
They are.
I know it can be talked about a lot and it can be annoy some people, I get it, but honest to God, it is important.
You know, what you're kind of saying, we did a pod with a AI consultant.
Oh, okay.
He does he does business. He consults with businesses with like AI, using AI. The one thing he mentions that it's really white dominant AI.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any other cultures like Asian, Latino, Hispanics, Black communities and stuff like that. It's set to like be, you know, Caucasian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about in Washington? Like, you know, just be perfectly honest, not a lot of black art in Washington, you know, compared to other art forms. So it's like, in terms of theater or just films, is it would you say like it's noticeably harder in Washington than it would be like in New York? Or
definitely harder than Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say don't include Atlanta though. Don't include Atlanta or New Orleans. You can't include those. But like on average though, are you able to notice the difference if you were to go to California?
I think it hasn't been too difficult for me. I think they need black actors now. I think they need people to be on. I think they need people of color to be on the stage, and I think they need people who look differently than white people to be able to tell these stories. You know, so I think I've had some luck in this industry, because you know, a lot of companies, a lot of production teams, a lot of production companies are in need of people who are in need of diversity. You know, and a lot of times you're not getting that. So when I kind of come along, I'm someone who looks different from like the average, like, you know, white person, obviously. So when they come along, I think they see some sort of opportunity or some sort of spark that they can make and see some sort of change that they need. So I think I've had some luck, but what I really want to see, honestly, I think we need to see a little bit more Asian representation. I think that's something important. You know,
got any friends?
Yeah, I think it's important because black art is just gonna keep growing. You know.
Yeah.
And I would love to see the same with Asian, because, you know, a lot of there's now been some Asian shows out there. Like there's been Kim's Convenience. There's been
that's a big one.
That was a really good one. Yeah. I loved it so much. It was really good. You know, because now
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Fresh off the boat. You know.
Yeah.
There's one on Netflix.
Crazy Rich Asian.
That was so good. Oh my gosh. But now I'm happy to kind of see this, because at first it was white dominant, and then, you know, black people started coming into place, and, you know, having a lot of black TV shows, and that's been an inspiring thing for like a long time, you know, because we've been coming up, you know. Now I think also
I also want to point out that Disney does really well of including all cultures.
Oh
now.
Yeah, for a while too.
Because now they have Hispanic culture, Polynesian culture, Asian culture, Black culture, white culture. It's all culture.
Hawaiian, everything, literally everything.
They do a really good representation of, like, especially with the kids, like, art with the films and like. It represents really good.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, even like the reality TV shows they do, they represent pretty well too.
It's like That's a Ravens, whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Those reality
TV
shows, right?
Wizard of Waverly Place.
Yeah, okay.
Like that was more of like a Latin family in a way.
It was good.
It wasn't like a white family.
Oh, you know, actually, so since the actress from That's Raven was one of my teachers, she talked about how hard it was for Disney to have a black show. Because I don't know, I guess they wanted to be like a white show, but Raven's father kind of came in and said, no, you know, if I'm gonna have my daughter play this role, then she needs to be the star lead, and it has to be like a black oriented sort of film, you know. So that was it was 2003, so that was still a very hard time for black people to kind of get their representation on Disney Channel, you know, because it was besides That's Raven and Proud Family, I think that was just like those are the only shows that really showed. You know, black culture, you know, black household, you know, so that was a very important time for them, you know, and I'm seeing that now conspire today, and I think it's amazing. I
think it's definitely more open nowadays.
Definitely more open,
great.
yeah. And we need that, you know, we need to have
of course
that kind of stuff, because you know, a lot of people need to tell the stories. You know, a lot of places have different places.
I forgot which Disney movie that was, but it was basically showing the Day of the Dead.
El Canto?
Something like that. That impressed me a lot because I didn't really know that much about that culture and that I learned from a kids movie.
Oh, was it Coco?
It was Coco. It was Coco.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was
a
really
great movie.
good. I love that.
That was a great
so
movie.
much.
I learned a lot about like that culture from watching that movie.
Yeah, and you know the artistic director actually went to Mexico and to go see like the buildings and the
he nailed the design.
No, it looks amazing. It looks like the animation looks amazing.
Yeah, it was.
The
really
detail
good.
was amazing.
Music.
Like
It was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot. It was a really good movie, and I think we need a lot more of that.
Yeah,
absolutely,
of course. I mean, like you said, it's still growing and expanding, and I mean, it can go further.
Yeah,
The creativity just can't die down, guys.
No, don't let it die down.
The creativity cannot die down.
Take a second to sit in your thoughts.
I do have a question. How are you able to find these like free opportunities like to do these plays? Is it from your agent or are you searching it yourself?
So my agent was Big Fish, and Big Fish just handles mostly film and commercial.
Okay.
Theater is something I have to do on the side. So I had to look up.
So Big Fish is meaning like they handle like the money side of the stuff, right?
The money side, and they do give me some casting calls. So
okay.
They kind of send me out on some auditions, you know.
Gotcha.
But I've actually been very busy on my own projects, so having to work on other projects has been not very possible for me, you know. So I've just been focusing on like creating my own films and doing my own plays rather than like actually having to go out and do other people's movies, which is like, you know, it's fair for me right now, but definitely later on when I do move into a bigger city, as I talked about before, I definitely want to take opportunities. But what's funny, theater, it's not that hard. You just have to be very analytical. I would say you have to know what theaters are. You have to know what plays you're gonna do. You have to know the directors of the plays. You have to know them a little bit. What kind of plays do they produce?
Is there like some type of like Facebook group of like?
Oh yeah, there's like Facebook films, like you know, casting calls and stuff like that I've joined.
Hey, those who wants to like you know dial down, listen in because this is a way for you to you know get yourself out there like LeBron is and
tell you the exact info.
Yeah, and I mean there's a page, Seattle, our theater Puget Sound. There's basically all the auditions happening in theater and in film. So, you know, it's very useful for a lot of people. I've been using that as well, so that's been really helpful. And also just making connections as well. It's important, you know,
connections are important for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like my play that I'm going to have on center stage, that was through connections. That was through somebody I knew because she told me to audition for the part. And I auditioned and, you know, I was very calm and, you know, very, you know, kind of put together and I was able to, you know, execute, you know. Right. So it takes getting to know somebody and, you know, you having to go out and like meet people and connect with them will take you so far, you know.
And then when coming to like the roles, like when practicing to the roles, like how do you practice? Do you practice within a mirror? Do you practice with like another human being? Do you practice with someone who's not an actor or actress,
or even just watching other films?
Yeah. So first, I gotta understand the character. I gotta understand the story. Gotta understand what the character's circumstances are, their goals, their insecurities, their background, how they grew up,
right?
You know what they're going through, how they think, and all these sort of things. I have to once I get that going on for myself, then I can kind of go into the script and say, okay, I gotta remember my words. I gotta remember the script. So when I'm reading the script. I'm obviously repetition, saying it out loud 5 times, all this sort of thing, and then I have to write it down. So when I write it down, I'm writing like the first letter of each word,
right? For
everything, like I'm adding the punctuations, the periods, the colons, all that kind of stuff. I have to add that in, you know. The capital letters are all very important, you know. And then I have to write the next person, the person that I'm talking to. I have to write their line down, but I don't have to write like each letter of it. I just write their whole line, and then I'm just trying to like. Repeat it to myself as much time as I can, and then once I do that,
do you repeat the other character's line or just yourself? I
kind of memorize. I mostly memorize like the last words that they say, so that I can get the cue for myself. And then after I do that, then I once I get comfortable, then I go to a friend and be like, "Hey, let's read together," so I can memorize it, and then I just kind of go about doing that whole thing, and then. Once I memorize it, then the acting kind of comes into place. So I've taken all the things I learned from my character about the circumstances and everything. Then I add that into, you know, actually building the whole character. So that all comes into place when I'm memorized and I know a lot about the character. And I do practice in the mirror too. That helps a lot because facial expressions and all that stuff.
Looking at yourself, making sure you got the facial expressions right.
But also getting also feedback from friends is also very helpful.
Yeah,
too, you know, because friends, people watch movies all the time. People watch TV shows, so they're gonna know what's real, what's not real. You don't have to be an actor to know how acting is, if acting is good or bad.
Yeah,
you know?
So for sure.
Perspective from other people is very important and this sort of thing, but not in a way where it's like whatever they say has to go. It's just like, you know, listen to people, you know, listen to what they gotta say, you know, don't hold back, and, you know, obviously don't worry about what people gotta say about you, you know, because that's something you have to learn about when you get into acting. But, you know, just taking what they gotta say, because they can help you a lot. It can help you, it can not help you, but, you know, just ignoring it is not gonna do anything for you, you know.
That's something I want to touch on. How do you for anybody watching, it's like, man, I really want to do it, but I just can't manifest that intensity, that confidence, that live in the moment. What's something that helped you besides, you know, obviously, you know, just doing it, but what's something that can, maybe a mental practice or a saying or something that you can think of that might have helped you on your journey, just to pull out that intensity, you know?
Man, those YouTube motivational videos, bro, they get you sometimes.
If David Goggins be getting,
David Goggins, who's gonna carry the boat? Who's gonna carry the boat?
Oh my gosh, no, man, I swear, like they talk to you, they understand. I know that their target is us. It's us young men, you know. So it's like us having to execute based on like what's going on in our life. You know, it can be really hard. You know.
No, you're not wrong. It's like majority of like the videos you see on TikTok are like targeting men who like going through like mental health struggle and confidence issue and stuff like that. You're just like watching like, oh yeah, I can do this too now. I'm ready. I'm ready to put me on. Put me in, coach.
Exactly. But I couldn't rely on that because I'm only like a little bit of like a pump. But you have to really go out there and like tell yourself like, hey man, like people are gonna talk bad about you. Yeah. People are gonna look at you differently. People are gonna say these things about you, but it doesn't matter. What matters to me is what God sees about me and how I see myself, you know. So having to kind of express that into my own ambition kind of helped me a lot. Yeah. And also I had good friends along the way. I have really good friends. I have really good support teams. So that was also very helpful for me. You know, I was someone who always wanted to follow what everybody else was doing. I always cared about a lot what people had to say. Like I said before, like taking what people got to say, but don't have it affect who you really want to be, what you really want to do, you know? So having to understand that, like, I want to get into this field. I know I'm going to get talked down about a lot. I cannot have that stop me, because if I have that stop me, then what else am I going to do that other people are just going to be like, okay, you can't do that. You have to do this. You have to do that. Like, I'm just going to be always putting for the leader, always gonna having to listen to other people, what they have to say, and that's not gonna really get me to.
You can also use that as a motivation to prove them wrong too.
Yeah, I had that too. I had to be very careful with that. I had to be very, very careful, because I'm just like, okay, am I doing it for them or am I doing it for me?
That's true. You know? You gotta find that balance. You can't do it just exactly to get get your revenge, but you gotta do it for yourself in a way.
Exactly. And I feel like sometimes I do still have that when I'm studying lines and when I'm going to rehearsals. I still have that in the back of my head sometimes, but like I kind of have to remind myself, like, I'm doing this for me.
It's just like also like it's just a reminder of humble beginnings in a way.
Exactly.
You're like oh these guys used to make fun of me doing this and that, but like now I feel like happy for doing what I'm doing now.
Exactly.
The type of thing.
Yeah. Like think about it, man. People are gonna probably make fun of you guys for doing this, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And people are gonna be like, oh, why don't they do something else, or like, you know, they're just wasting their time. But it's just like, if you really care about something, then you cannot worry about what other people are gonna say about you, you know? And I had to take that into consideration myself. Like, I remember I had a friend working at 7-Eleven. He just came from the country and everything, and you know, he obviously had like, you know, old-fashioned way of thinking about doing certain things with your life, you know. And he always told me, like, you know, don't waste your time doing that, you know, like, go do something else, or like, you know, just, I don't know, kind of like mocking me in a sense, you know? Yeah. And I had to be like, I mean, bro, I tell myself, like, you know, bro, he's just one of them. He's just one of those people who are just gonna always kind of try to make some fun out of me, you know? And I have to accept that, you know, because I'm just like, you know, people can waste their times hating on somebody else, but while you're doing that, I'm doing my own thing, you know?
Well, I have like I have a traditional grandpa, like he wants to like go to college, get a good degree, get a job, which is fine, but it's not for everyone, you know. You can't just force yourself, like what we were saying in the other half of the podcast. You can't really just force yourself into something you're not into.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Like as much as like you're gonna get paid a lot and well, you're probably not going to ending up like feel satisfied with yourself or find happiness within that.
You know, and for me, it's like, okay, like I had people in my life that really wanted me to go to college, and I wanted to go to college too, just to know the feeling of it, you know.
Right.
And I was grateful to have the college experience, but I had to be kind of on my means, you know. I had to be going to college for something I actually wanted to do rather than something I feel like I had to do, you know. So if I went to college I was going for computer science, but I didn't see no endpoint for me. I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any like ambition. I didn't have anything going for myself when I was doing it. I just felt like I was trapped, you know. So I wanted to escape it. So once I escaped it, I was working by what I wanted to do, you know. And so theater was something that I knew I wanted. I knew I wanted to like succeed in this. I know I wanted to have that feeling again. So once I went into theater, I was like, okay, this is my major. This is what I'm studying. People are gonna say so many things about it. I'm probably the only one. I'm probably the only Eritrean person who's ever studying theater. But F it. I have to go for it. Like there's somebody telling me like I had to do this. There's no other thing that I can do besides this. And you know, I don't think I would have had a greater college experience if I didn't go to theater.
Yeah.
You know, because I was able to do so many different things I never thought I could do myself. You know, I was able to perform, put on a lot of different plays. I did a lot of different projects that were just so, you know, creative that I still hold in my house. You know, I was able to like build a stage like off of like cardboard and stuff and like design it how I wanted to. It was so cool, like, you know. And I did a play. I did a project on this theater that it was in China. So like back in 1858, a theater building in China got burned down, and about 3,000 people were trapped in the building, and about 2,000 people were able to escape. But during that time, you know, the IRS, the government was trying to be very like, you know, sneaky about how they're putting out information. So they're saying that only like 200 people died, or they're saying about 300 people died, 500 people died. So there's a lot of misinformation. And, you know, getting to know this kind of stuff about China and knowing about their own products and theaters and all that sort of thing, it was very, like, obviously emotional, but very interesting to see how theater really plays on different countries. Because, you know, theater is something that a lot of people don't know, but is the reason why, you know, the world works. It's like, without theater, I don't know how the world would be. Because theater was such a movement for a lot of different countries to express what they're going through. Like, you know, the apartheid in South Africa, man. You know, like, a lot of people had performances based on their own experiences, and that's like the only way people can actually grow awareness about what was going on over there, which was, you know, racial discrimination, segregation, all these sort of things, you know. So theater was a huge movement, especially in my own country. Like, theater was used as a way where people can go out and express themselves and see, like, and tell people, like, hey, you know, we're struggling, but we're gonna get through this, you know. It was, you know, theater is used even during the dark ages of you know, the world, and it's just like, you know, a lot of people don't know about that, you know. And, you know, I was trying to find
it's a great way to like spread awareness and also like entertain people to like like
to hold on,
to like get informed about certain knowledge and stuff like that.
So there's a lot of different theater styles, you know. Like, I learned about theater of the what was it called? It was like man, I've been out of school for like 2 months now. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember it.
You're okay.
It's I know theater about the theater of the absurd. I'm watching a video right now about it and how important it is for people to think outside the box and think. Absurd is just basically like, let's say there's two guys on stage, and then one guy comes in with a sock on his head, and some other guy with a pie on his shoe. It's like the most bizarre thing that you can ever think of just happening, you know? Because we always think about every day, like, what if this scenario happened? What if this thing would have just go down like that? And it's just like, it's so funny to see what people would really think of, you know? So theater of the absurd is very, very unique and very special. And I think everyone should get into it, because it's like you being able to just come up with the most bizarre thing possible. It's so funny. And I think one actor does it really well. His name is Patrick Stewart, I think. Wherever I think he's one of the movies, Live Long and Prosper.
Is he like a bald guy?
The bald guy, yeah.
Patrick
Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart.
Stewart, right?
Stewart, yeah, it's Stewart, right?
I have no idea. I'm trying to get a.
That sounds correct.
Yeah, Stewart, right?
Stewart,
Yeah.
Wheelchair.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Xavier.
Mr.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, X-Men.
Yeah.
So
I should start with X-Men, actually. Yes, X-Men.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that was his name.
Wait, no, he go. No, I don't know who it is. I go. Oh yeah. I seen you do that one time.
Yeah, I just read your mind, bro.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Your information passed along today. It works, bro.
It works. Yeah. You got to the point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But man.
He played X-Men so well.
I was acting now.
There you go. You know, but he still does a lot of theater. He still is on stage performing these things, and it's just like, you know, he makes a lot of money from film. He makes a lot of movies. He makes a lot of different things, you know. But he still goes back to the stage, you know, because the stage is very powerful, and I think a lot of people miss that, you know. And, you know, regardless of wherever I am in life, you know, and, you know, if I'm a big Hollywood star or somewhere in Atlanta or whatever, it doesn't matter. I always want to make sure that I go back to the stage, regardless of how either successful I am or how, if I'm not successful, the theater is just always a place where people can go out and just be themselves, you know, or be a different character, but also be themselves.
Right.
Know? I met a lot of people on the stage right now because I've been this year 2024. It's been play after play after play after play after play. Like even after this play, I have another play going on, and after that play, I have another play, and then I might be taking a break after summertime and just only focusing on film, you know. But I don't know, something about the stage just kind of calls me, you know. And I told myself I was supposed to take a break, but like another opportunity came along the way.
Yeah.
So I can't stop, you know.
How often are you naturally getting these gigs, or is it because you're actively looking and scheduling?
I'm actively looking. Yeah, each one of them. I mean, two of them were in school, and then one of them was outside of school, and then this one was outside. I mean, now I'm outside of school, so this one's at the Kids Have Forest Theater. The next one's gonna be at Sycamore Tree Theater. It's like a small little community theater, but I love small community theaters. You know, that's really really nice getting to know everybody there.
About how many plays or any acting roles have you done so far?
Okay.
Estimate number. I'm just curious.
Okay, let me see. So from 2023 to 2024, because I started acting for a year.
Yeah.
3 last year. This year, okay, hold up. 2, 3, 4. About 7 going up to 9.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have 2 more coming up, and so far it's been 7 from a year.
How much time do you have to dedicate to each specific play?
Like 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, because it's rehearsals, and then after rehearsals about about 3 weeks, and then you have tech. And then during tech, it's like, you know, you're running with the lights, you're running with the costumes and all that sort of thing. You actually perform the whole show, no script. It's just you're performing the whole show to have the directors. And then after that, you have like outside of school is 4-week performances, but in school it's 2 weeks. So this play I'm doing right now, we've been performing for 4 weeks. This is my last week actually, and then the next play is also gonna be the same way. So yeah, you perform for a long time. So that's why it keeps you busy. So I would say the average person does like at least yearly like 7 to 10 plays a year, I'll say, because it does take up a lot of time, a lot of time, you know. But
practice and then doing it.
But I definitely do want to keep on doing stage working as I'm, you know, doing my filmmaking and that sort of thing, you know, just to keep myself grounded a little bit more, you know. Yeah, but I'm gonna definitely invite you guys for sure.
No, for sure.
I want to go.
I got you.
Hold us down for that. I got
you. I got you for sure, man.
If you were in Hollywood right now, or just in the big industry, what movie would you make?
That's a crazy question.
Yeah,
Spitball. Spitball.
I had full capability of doing any kind of work, any budget, whatever.
Anything. Yep. You could have. It could be a Marvel Avenger. It could be Get Out. It could be. It could be.
Get Out.
Like I asking like what kind of genre would I be doing, or like what kind of like what movie would just out
I
there,
think
like, you know?
Yeah, like Spitball.
Spitball. Like what type of movie
you
that you would really want to make?
Well, I would do my movie that I'm making right now. If you guys want me to explain, I could do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So my movie is basically about a black man with a wife who basically they live in a suburban area, you know, like higher class suburban area, because you know those type of individuals are not talked about in the black community at all that much, you know. So I definitely want to embark that. And you know, one time they go out to an opera showing, and then his wife goes in to get gas, and then when she gets gas, there's like an outbreak of the fight, and you know it involves a gun. So she ends up getting shot, and then once he sees his wife on the floor, like, you know, almost dying out, he kind of goes into this rage of like having to go into the hood, figure out what the hood is really like, and try to like find some people who can help him, you know, track down the person that killed his wife, you know. So it's a whole lot of awareness, a whole lot of like, you know, understanding that a lot of people did not come from the hood, but you know, it's kind of they still end up in the hood, you know. and I would say it's very different. I try to do films that like are very different from like what has already been made.
Yeah.
Of course, there's more to go into it, but that's just basically the suspense. So I would definitely try to, like, with the budget I can have from Hollywood, I would definitely love to make that happen, man. Because honestly, that movie's gonna cost a lot of money out of me for sure, but it'd definitely be worth it. So I definitely.
That sounds like a great movie.
It does.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Someone
That sounds like a great movie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's go watch it in the movie theater. I swear.
Yeah, I like that whole double perspective you got there.
Yeah. That transformation.
Yeah.
That's a big
from
one.
poverty to
Yeah, because a lot of people can hit that mark. You know, a lot of people can go from like a high luxury area to a beaten down and just down bad like mindset. You know, and it's very common in the manhood. You know, so
especially revenge and ego.
Revenge and ego is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Bro.
Huge thing.
Yeah. But then like over time he learns that like maybe this isn't something else because he finds another inspiration that he wants to do. So I don't want to talk too much into it because I still want you guys to.
Yeah.
That's the trailer though. That's the trailer. That's the trailer right there.
Good point.
That was a trailer of this movie.
There you go.
I like that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
That honestly, what he just explained sounded exactly like the trailer. I could just have an image in my head about it. Right?
Yeah.
The wife laying on the floor. Does the camera zooming up?
The Oprah's playing. That's crazy. Oh my god, that's just crazy. That's what I just imagined. That is crazy, actually. Like she's dead laying and the Oprah's still playing. Like oh my gosh, that is crazy. Yeah,
I like the idea.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's like it's gonna help both the black community when it comes to that one dude who's like, oh man, am I truly black? And, or it's gonna be that one dude.
There's a huge separation I've been noticing from like a lot of people. You know, a lot of people who come from high class. A lot of people with poverty, you know, that separation is there, and it's unfortunate that is there, you know, because I think a lot of people, you know, people of color can really come together and make something amazing, you know, but it's just there's always that sort of like gap between like how much money you have, you know, the ego. It's so upsetting, you know.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to make people understand that. Like there was a scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like Carlton. He didn't get into to a frat. I don't know if you guys watched it before. You've probably seen it.
I've seen
it. I've seen a lot of it.
Yeah. That scene where he didn't get to frat because he's not black enough. Yeah. I think that's something I definitely want to tackle in this movie because I've been told that I'm not black enough by a lot of people, you know, because I guess I don't talk with slang. I don't talk with, you know, I don't have a hood accent sort of thing, you know. So I've been told that for a lot of people from like a long time, and I've heard other people having to have the same experience, you know. So this movie I definitely want to tackle on that and let people know that like, hey man, we are all colored. Absolutely. We are all colored. We are all have some sort of struggle because of our color, you know. So having to come together.
Doesn't have to be the same struggle too.
Doesn't have to be the same struggle. Exactly. Everybody has their own struggle, man. It doesn't matter, you know, how much money you got. People are gonna have to struggle with something. You know? So just having that kind of understanding is very important. You know.
Absolutely, it's gonna help the outside perspective too.
That's a great message.
It is.
Yeah. Thank you.
That is a great message.
Where it comes to people, you know, looking at certain you know, poverty-based black families and you know, getting this automatic idea about how they operate.
Exactly.
You know, they truly don't know. So
I'm not gonna lie, it seems like you have pretty good like ideas and books
and drive to do it. And the drive to do it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, me too, man. You know, it's coming along.
I got full belief in you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. You know, the series is gonna be a little bit more easier to take on. Because it doesn't require a lot of different locations. The movie is gonna take time though for sure, but I'm willing to, you know, however much money I got to spend, however much time I got to spend onto it, it's all worth it, you know. It's a passion, and you have to sacrifice so much for passion, man. You know.
Exactly.
This is a random question, but when it comes to like putting down money for movies, are there like agencies giving you loans for that, or is that really mainly
you can get loans from not the agencies? I maybe some agencies. The agencies I work for, I don't think they would do that. You know, a lot of people take loans from like different businesses. That's one the movie I worked on last year. He had to take out a lot of different loans. I personally do not want to do that. I want to have it to be a low budget but really strong message. You know, I think that's what the best movies are. Like a lot of movies have the lowest budgets, but they create the most beautiful things ever. You know, I'm not talking about Marvel movies because obviously Marvel's gonna make them.
That's the complete opposite.
But the way Tyler Perry started, I'm pretty sure it was low budgeted and it was very like inspirational for the black community. So you know, doing things like that is very important for me to be able to, you know, express some art, but also, you know, save some money on the side because, you know, like things are getting expensive nowadays. You know, so yeah, you know, it all honestly just all depends,
how do you budget your movies?
Well, you know, for my actors, I will make sure that they are compensated. especially with food and all that sort of thing. I'm obviously gonna make sure that the filmmakers are the same way. For the property, for the place, I'm gonna see if I can if I know somebody who can be able to give me the space for free. And I guess I'll put their names on the in the movie as well or something, some sort of thing like that. But just make sure.
That's like free ad though.
Yeah,
free ad, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna see like what I can do and what their expectations are, and seeing how I am financially and being able to kind of grow from there.
Yeah.
So all these things are components to making a good movie, and I think when you make a good movie, you have to understand you have to, I'm not gonna say live below your means, but just understand where you are. Because one inspiration I had was from George Lucas when he started Star Wars, the first series. Mm-hmm. He spent like all of his savings, like took out so many loans, and he was at like negative $7,000 in his bank or something like that, But he made the best movie of all time. Star Wars is like a huge thing, and now he's a billionaire, So I think risks like that are important, but just being mindful.
Didn't it fail too a couple times?
I think it did fail. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some companies didn't buy it.
That's
I remember because I remember it failed. I remember hearing it failed, and he had to start his own production.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm, right?
Lucasfilm, exactly. Yeah. But man,
sense.
Lucasfilm is like the biggest thing in the world now.
Yeah. Well, now it's Disney.
I mean, like, what is Disney now?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, like, what isn't Disney now?
Marvel. Disney literally got all the good stuff.
I feel like they low-key, like, behind our backs took Cartoon Network too, because Cartoon Network, the whole thing was just, it's not even there anymore. There's no channel, there's no web series about it. It's all gone.
Yeah,
but it's weird because all the Cartoon Network shows are on Disney Plus. I'm just like, maybe they did take Cartoon Network.
No, they did. They got,
because I'd be seeing Adult Swim now on Disney.
Yeah,
I mean, not Disney. What's it called? On Cartoon Network.
Yeah. All the Cartoon Network shows, Adventure Time, regular show, Gumball, they're all on Disney. So I'm just like, I think they definitely bought it.
You just need top three. Bought it. That's top three.
Disney bought like. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They got nerds like me onto it. Like back on Disney.
Yeah, bro.
I'm a huge fan of Star Wars and Marvel, and they got me back on my ass and buying Disney Plus.
If there's any company that can lead us to like the dystopian future, is Disney. Disney's one of them.
Yeah, I was telling my girlfriend the other day, I was like, I gotta get Disney Plus again because like they got Star Wars and Marvel.
You can't not find anything on Disney Plus anymore. So.
I'm a huge nerd for all this.
$4 a month for a student discount. I still have
for Disney Plus
and Disney bundle.
Yeah,
$4 a month.
Okay.
Jokes on you. I'm paying $0. I'm a swashbuckling pirate. I mean, I pay for everything. Here at FHF, we don't condone piracy at all. We like to buy our products. All right, I got this question. This is off topic. It's back on topic more so. So when it comes to this, I was thinking about like kind of Key and Peele's whole. What they started with. They did like skits and YouTube videos and then went into like films, not even movies, but like films and then theater and then the movies. Like I feel like that's completely opposite. But the main thing I want to ask is, what are they called? Just skits? Skits?
Yeah.
Can skits play a huge part in your journey?
Yeah, because it shows your acting credibilities. It shows who you are and what you can do as an actor. So it definitely does add to the portfolio. So that's what I'm also thinking about doing as well. On the side. Because I just have so much going on right now, so I haven't really thought about it, but I haven't really put anything into it. But no, skits are definitely a good way to get your name out there a little bit, But I think it's just kind of comes with the whole like not being afraid to look dumb, look goofy, So I think it's important for a lot of people to do that. It's a great way to kind of get some recognition, Because I know I think that one guy from the Wonka movie and from the new movie with Zendaya, what's the name, bro?
Wonka movie was in there.
Willy Wonka?
No, not Willy Wonka. I mean, it is Willy Wonka.
No. The new Wonka movie.
The new Wonka movie.
Yeah.
That one guy.
I know what you're talking about. The main actor, right?
Yeah, the curly hair guy.
Yeah.
He started on YouTube as well. Actually, he started on making his own clips and stuff like that. Now he's a really good actor.
I don't know if you've seen the Practical Jokers. They were on YouTube first, and they got their own. YouTube? Yeah, and now they're on True TV.
Yeah, Practical Jokers are funny too.
Yeah, I love
watching that kind of stuff, bro. Things like that are good to start on YouTube. That's for me. It's like I have like some sort of like plan. So for my films, if it doesn't make any streaming services like anything on Tubi or Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever, if it doesn't make any of that, then I'm just gonna put it on YouTube. And if YouTube doesn't go well too much, then I can put it on TikTok, put on like little clips. So there's avenues for different film that like if it doesn't hit a certain market, if it didn't go to the way it goes, then you can definitely
It'll
put
still
it on
show out.
It'll still show out, you know.
Yeah.
You
Keep
still
changing the market.
be able to put it on
Oh,
my
I forgot.
portfolio,
What's
you
his
know?
name? Fred even got on movies. Annoying Fred from
Oh,
YouTube.
there you go.
Yeah, he got like 3
wow.
movies.
You're right. With John Cena.
Yeah,
With John
yeah.
Cena, bro.
He had
Yeah.
like 3 movies. I'm like, what the hell is
Yeah, out of
going on?
nowhere.
Annoying Fred
Yeah,
is
I
on
He was
on
He
movies.
was on an iCarly episode, and then he went into some.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, and then he
I'm
made
like,
I think he made like 3 movies, and
Mhm.
I
And they
watched
sold
it.
well.
Yeah,
the
so
music
well.
video too, bro. It was funny as hell. I was like, "What? I mean, is this Christmas like?" Have you guys heard of it? It was a long time
I
ago.
think
like this
so,
Christmas
yeah.
music video. It was kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
it was such an iconic. It was such an iconic moment for me because like I used to watch like YouTube a lot.
Yeah,
and Annoying
yeah. Oh,
Fred
yeah.
was that big
You're right.
person, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like to
I
see a
know.
YouTuber to get on a movie, it's big.
It is. It is. It really is, man.
Because
It's
he wasn't even doing like skits. Too.
Nah, he's just pure YouTube.
He was doing
Went
him.
straight from YouTube
Yeah.
to
exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
he was acting to be annoying
Yeah.
Fred, but like still, it's crazy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why for me it's like I want to create my own stuff to be able to put myself out there because
Yeah.
like if I'm waiting around looking for an opportunity to come my way, I just feel like I'm not being able to create.
You're
I'm not being
definitely
able to
heading
get
the
out there,
right
you know?
way because
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to show your creativity in your own way. And I
Exactly,
feel like
exactly.
that's what a lot of these people are doing right now
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube or whatever platforms they are to express themselves and show themselves to the world.
Exactly.
And those people out there taking an opportunity on those people doing that.
I think it's a slow way, but it's the most effective way.
It is the most effective way,
It
you know,
is.
and I think it's very important.
I mean, it
to
also
kinda
takes
do
a lot of time and dedication
Yeah.
to do
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my biggest thing when it comes to like creativity is like you're gonna have those moments where you're just not feeling creative.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're just gonna have it, you know.
That
and
blank
it's-
creativity. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That chunk, it can be that chunk of
Yeah.
time too. So it's like, and you still gotta work through it, even if it's not every day. You still
Yeah,
gotta work through
yeah,
it. That's just one of the
yeah,
hardest
yeah.
things you do, but it's the most worth it thing you can do.
It is.
You
It
know?
is. It is. It is. There's days where I don't want to go to meetings. There's days where I don't want to go to draft board. There's just so much days where I'm just like I just want to sleep. I just don't want to do with anything. There's always so much going on for myself, but I'm already forced by my working partner. So it's like, you know, we are having this thing where it's like we have to work regardless of however we're feeling. You know, whatever we're going through. If there's any relationship issues or family things, we have to kind of contribute to this thing because it's like time's only gonna go fast. You know, time's
Yeah.
only gonna go. So it's like there's nobody is gonna make the story for us to be able to act. You know, so.
If it's sold
that's what
back, the
I'm
whole
doing.
thing's sold back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, bro. Exactly. So, it's coming along, you know. And having somebody work in the film festival is very helpful for me because you know she's helped me be able to produce my stuff and be able to tell me like what's good and what's wrong, you know. So having
To do
someone
better.
yeah, exactly. So having that is very helpful for me to grow as an actor and someone who's an inspiring filmmaker. So yeah, man, it's been good. It's been a ride, but man, bro, oh man, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When you find out one thing that you really want to do, it's amazing because I was searching for like the longest time, bro, since 2018 all the way up to 2022. So
And you found it.
I found it, yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
and
It's on the path.
You know, maybe, and also there's other things too that I can also like to do. You know,
Yeah.
I'd love to figure that out too. I'd love to see what else that is, and you know, that might be traveling, that might be writing, that might be something else. You know, so I definitely.
But you found a
Gotta keep
passion
up.
that you're willing to
Oh,
stick
yeah.
it through and work your ass off for.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you think about it like that, like you practically did make it, you know. And
Yeah,
now it's just
yeah.
keep on making it
Keep on
until you
making
do.
it.
You
Amen.
actually
Amen.
officially make
Step
it.
by step, I'm making it.
Yeah, step by
Yeah.
step, making
For
it.
sure,
You know,
for sure, for
once
sure,
you
for
find
sure.
that path, you know, it don't really go away. It's
Yeah.
there now.
Exactly. So you know, if I'm hear anybody talk about their passion, I would say do it. I mean, you know, life is short. You know, you're not gonna be offered so many opportunities. So you know, whatever opportunity you can get, take it. You know, because it's all gonna go away to or given to somebody else who wants it even more than you. So might as well give it 100. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Desmond,
that's just
you
my
got
best.
anything else to add on?
Nah, man.
Well, Hebron, you got anything else to add on?
Yeah, keep an eye out for my projects. You know,
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be hitting some marks of important things to talk about. So I definitely love your input, your perspective on things. So
Absolutely.
just be patient. I'm being patient with my stuff, and those who want to seek more than they've been told, go out, find yourself, do it.
Just do it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Really do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, because life is only gonna get harder from now. So
No one's gonna make you do it unless you do it yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. People are gonna talk down on you about it. People are gonna tell you that it's not right. Ignore them. Listen to what they gotta say, but deep down you know them.
And believe in yourself.
Believe in
Yeah,
yourself, man.
for
That's
sure.
how it is,
And if
bro.
you know it, you're shy. Lie, but you're shy.
Amen.
I
But
just
you
want to
believe in
say,
yourself.
I just really want to say, I really appreciate Hebron showing up for this podcast.
No worries, brother.
I found out from a mutual friend that he became an actor, and I was like, I gotta get him on. And obviously, it's a great podcast,
Yeah.
guys. I learned a lot, and I'm inspired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I
what the
learned a
goal
lot
is.
by an actor, like being an actor and the steps to it and all that, and then inspired from his story too.
How to just
And
work hard.
I hope you guys can learn and be inspired as well. Definitely, like you said, stay tuned to his projects. We'll be posting up. We're gonna post up to his work too. We're gonna show out. See how it is, because I am really curious.
Yeah,
to
I
see
am
how
too.
it
It's going to
works.
be good.
Yeah, most definitely.
I appreciate you guys staying tuned. We love all the love and support coming our way. Glad Desmond's back with us in the pod.
Yeah, man.
And then please like, share, subscribe, of course.
Leave a comment down below.
Leave a comment down below. That's what we're missing
Say what's
still.
up.
For sure.
We'll respond.
Yeah,
I'll respond. I got you.
we out.
Yeah. Have a good one.